Well, all indications is this looks like a professional hit job. You look at all the characteristics that we've seen from essentially lying in wait for the CEO to walk by. We can see on that video that Brent obtained there that he essentially is behind a Suburban, the shooter, and as the CEO walks past, you see him then step out, the gun comes up on target, and he begins to fire. There is a level of sophistication that we can tell from the shooter from that video as well, and that is because as he's firing, we know that he used a suppressor on that gun. That's to muffle the sound. That is something that someone would use, obviously, if they don't want to draw attention to a particular shooting. And you see him, racking the slide of that gun, which typically happens on its own with a semi-auto 9mm style gun. But when you have that suppressor there at the end, if you don't have perhaps the proper parts or it's not properly lubricated, that gun won't cycle. And so you see him essentially racking the slide for every round that he fires. And then also at one point, and this is what police had indicated as well before we obtained this video, that the gun had malfunctioned at one point, and you actually see him doing a clearing drill on that gun. And this is something that those of us who worked in law enforcement practice on over and over, where you essentially have these so-called immediate action drills where they practice for a round not to fire. Either it can get dislodged, there could be a double feed of ammunition, but in this case the shooter quickly racks it, the slide gets it back up on target, continues to fire, and then finally he makes his way of escape. So he not only came there, obviously very stealthy, but he still has not been found. Reports are that he fled on a e-bicycle, which obviously within the city of New York, a place where you have tons of license plate readers that a vehicle could perhaps be picked up on. Instead, this person chose to use a bicycle, which is obviously provides a more agile means of escape there. And so again, a lot of characteristics here that show this is someone who clearly was operating with some level of sophistication. Of course, now the big question comes down to motivation. That's work that's going on behind the scenes right now as well by authorities.
Bryn, what we saw in that video has been described. To actually watch it is just absolutely chilling. When you talk to your sources within the NYPD law enforcement right now, what's their sense of things in terms of how the manhunt's playing out, what resources they're actually utilizing, when they may actually find the suspect?
Yeah, I mean, every resource is being utilized at this moment, Phil. Certainly this has been, we're now about 6 or so, 7 hours into this investigation, and this is a major manhunt. And it does appear, of course, they came out right out of the gates saying we have a $10,000 reward, Crime Stoppers. Here are pictures of this suspect at the scene here and also on the bike. We need your help.